Hope you're all doing well out there. Just bringing up my chat so I can see you guys. Yeah, part of the theme for today's live video is just to address some of the swirling internet rumors. You know, we live in an age of fake news, of you know, everybody loves a scandal and wild rumor, unfounded rumors, and cancel culture. And this leads me to the rumor that I was going to be twerking at the 100K live celebration party. Now, admittedly, I did start those rumors. Hold on. Admittedly, I did start those rumors. They're disgusting rumors. They're not healthy. They're not good. They're not good to spread. But I should come clean and say that I did start those rumors. But there was a caveat. And that caveat, I've never used that word caveat. Did I just use that in the right place? Then the caveat for the twerking, 100K twerking scenario is that it was 100K by my birthday. Now my birthday is on the 7th of September. Jack Bross, I did use caveat correctly. Yes, this is when I need a meme. This is the problem with live videos. I've lost my meme game. And you know, it's like Samson without his hair. You know, you take away my memes. Yeah, it's like Darth Vader, you know, like he's more machine now than man. And you know, these days I'm more meme than man, more meme than drum teacher. But basically what's happening is I will be twerking at the 100K party if we reached 100K by my birthday, which is on the 7th of September. And it's looking unlikely. So yeah, that's the deal. I don't want to have to bribe anybody to subscribe. But, you know, if me twerking to Black Sabbath on a live video is not enough, then I feel sorry. I feel sorry for the drum scene in general. You know, it's a sad day. But yeah, twerking, that's the twerking part of this out the way. If anybody is wondering why they can't comment, this is a bit of housekeeping that I must remember to mention every week on the live videos. If you're having trouble or cannot comment in the live chat, I've set it to subscribers only, and that is not to ensure that I am twerking on the 7th of September. That is just to keep out the riffraff. Yeah, the chat will just get a little bit out of control otherwise, so it just puts a nice cap on it. I dread to think what's in the comments already, but let's have a look. Lost opportunity. Andrew Rooney, ladies and gentlemen. A god tier drummer if ever I've seen one. Is that you, mum? Stop it. That's such a Bruce Willis thing to say. What, grabbing a coffee? I can't imagine the live chat without a coffee. In fact, I might just angle this down so you can get a bit of the coffiness with me. Lost opportunity, but it's also an Andrew Rooney thing to say. So I don't know. I think they're the same. Bruce does have an extensive music background, if you all didn't know. Really? And the other thing is, no one, apparently, another rumor swirling on the internet is that I've never been seen in the same room as Bruce Willis at the same time. So this is when we need the aliens. See, again, I don't have my memeage. And, you know, what are you without your memeage? It's not much. It's just a bald dude drinking coffee, really. Church of the Holy Mo. I hope the twerking is of the upside down handstand type, like that state senator candidate. Really? Send me that. Lost Church of the Holy Mo. Send me that. I'm going to be using that. Send me the link. Lost opportunity. I'm going to start calling Andrew the Hudson Hawk. The Hudson Hawk of drum teachers. Twerk It, Busta Rhymes needs to be the song. Okay. Suzanne Lash. Hello, Suzanne. What happened to the means? Again, I need my X-Files stinger with the aliens guy. What happened to the means? Is it an autocorrect or what? Not quite sure what's going on there. Oh, one other thing that I was going to bring up on this video is that, and I probably will actually just release a video about this. Tomorrow's reaction video, which was Suzanne's pick, Suzanne Lash, who's in the chat, has been blocked. Now, blocked videos are available to the patrons, and my Patreon is $5 a month. So I'm just going to throw it out there. No pressure. I'm not imploring you to become a patron. You know, if you want to be a patron, be a patron. If you don't. It's totally fine. But if you do want access to the blocked videos, yeah, they're available to the patrons, $5 a month. Tomorrow's one wasn't. Oh my God. Suzanne always has an amazing pick. Tomorrow's one was going to be Kashmir. It was 2007 at the O2 Arena with Jason Bonham on drums. And my Lord, it is the drum fill apocalypse. It is just, I mean, you've never heard such displacement, such subdivision, you know, busting out crazy triplets and polys over these little drum breaks that are just conveniently in the song Kashmir. And the groove is just so heavy and they're all just sitting so far back. They're all having so much fun. And not to mention, I did a new introduction. So you know my with me looking like a dork, all the shots of me. I changed that up. I had some new memes. Oh man, you guys. Anyway, available to the patrons. Robert McCambridge drums the gravity twerk. Push-pull technique on the twerk. I love it. Miller Bear. Are you familiar with Pat Torpey? Now, I might get a greater how dare you for this, but Pat Torpey? Elton John? I feel like that's an Elton John. Is he the Elton John drummer or songwriter? You let me know, man. You let me know, Miller Bear. Jack Bross could always twerk to Rush, twerking man. I'll do it. I mean, I've fallen that far, you know, that I'm promising to a bunch of strangers on the internet that I will twerk to Rush if we get to 100K by my birthday, 7th of September. Unlikely. So I think I'm pretty safe there, but who knows? I mean, I might have had so much coffee on the 100K video that I might twerk anyway. By the way, I've never twerked, by the way. Connor twerks a bit around the house. Might have to get Connor to teach me. Oh, here we go. Miller Bear, Pat Torpey, Mr. Big Drummer. His YouTube solo is a masterclass. I've definitely heard the name. He passed away from Parkinson's. Oh, man, that's horrible. Okay, yeah. Feel free to remind me. I mean, I'll do my best. Pat Torpey. Who am I thinking of? Elton John's, like, co-songwriter? Don't know why that came to mind. Is the name similar, maybe? Springy, do you have Saveloys in New Zealand? I lost them when I moved from southeast England to the East Midlands. I'll move to New Zealand if you have Saveloys. Yes, we do. They were something that was sold at our local butcher. Saveloy sausages. And you'd go to our local butcher back in the day when you specifically had a butcher. We don't seem to have that a lot now. You know, it's all just in the supermarket. but a specialty butcher, and they'd wrap up your meat in the, that's what she said, in the, you know, in the paper, and our local butcher would always give you a saveloy just to the kids, just to, you know, yeah, memories. Just trying to catch up here. It can be a little bit hard to catch up. My chat moves around. Oh no. Philip Webb, what's up, Rooney? If you're looking for suggestions, can you do Icon Man by Rigmarole? Wow, Philip Webb, if you want me to out you. Philip Webb was the drummer. We used to call him Philip the Spider Webb. Terrific drummer. He was the drummer in my high school band, and I've said before on the community page, you know, a little bit of trivia on me, a good pub trivia. If you're ever in a pub and they're asking you like a whole section on Andrew Rooney drums, I started my career as a, I'm not going to say singer, vocalist. I'm not even going to say vocalist. I'm going to say dude with a mic. Philip Webb was the drummer. Awesome drummer. I'm still got it, I'm sure, Philip. Icon Man, oh my god. We used to do the on the intro for that song, I think we used to do the Staying Alive Saturday Night Fever dance. You had to be there. It was the late 90s. You had to be there. Where are we up to? Lost Opportunity. Are you familiar with Dread's Zeppelin? Let me set the stage. Elvis on vocals and reggae slow covers of Led Zeppelin songs. That sounds intriguing. TD12KX. Hello. Starve. Is that why they call you? They call you the twerking man. Again, sorry, my chat is moving around a lot, so if I do miss someone's comment, it's not that I don't want to read it, it's just moving a bit. Kenny's Auto Solutions. Manifest that 100k and it will come when it's meant to. Yeah, I'm not opposed to a little bit of manifestation. I guess you're right though, you can't rush these things, right? So hey, it's going to happen when it happens. It was just a little bit of fun to say, you know, if we reach 100k by the 7th of September, because I knew it was unlikely, and to be completely honest, I don't really want to twerk. But hey, I'm a man of my word. If somehow it happened, then I'll do it. Do you know about Noah and Clown Cause drummer Lewis Cole? Yes, I have done a video on Lewis Cole. Absolutely amazing. That was one of the videos on the channel where I got critiqued a lot. I felt like people thought, this happened on the Clay Aishlerman video, I felt like people thought I didn't think it was good. So they started like attacking me a little bit in the comments. And you know, if I don't have much to say or, you know, whatever, it might just be that I'm so engaged in the drumming, and if I mention something like, oh, this is unconventional, and oh, look at his, you know, look at his hands there, or look at the ergonomics, the way he's sitting, or this and that, and there was something like, I think I made comment on some of his gear was quite budget, quite cheap, and people took that as a diss, like, oh, who cares, you know, he's awesome, and you know, and I wasn't saying it as in, oh wow, he's using cheap mics, he's not very good. It was just an observation. I mean, I love that. If someone is killing it in the drum game and they're on really, you know, stock standard gear or even cheap gear, you know, I think that's a good thing. I'm pointing that out to point it out as a good thing. I pointed that out for people, because we're very used to watching endorsed drummers, endorsed by different drum companies. You know, you might get a guy who's playing Pearl drums and Zildjian cymbals, and of course he's only going to play Pearl drums and Zildjian cymbals. And then we might get a drummer on the channel, for example, who isn't endorsed and they're amazing and they're playing a whole mishmash of cymbals. And I pointed that out before. Man, isn't it refreshing to see someone who's just obviously chosen the cymbals they specifically want, they don't care about the brand, or that's all they've got. Hey, that's all the gear they've got and they're using it in the video. Both of those options are beautiful. Neither of them are critiques. Far from it. Anyway. Holy Trinity of Goats staff. Neil Peart, John Bonham, Danny Carey. I think that would be... That is actually the most common Holy Trinity, I find, in the comments. People who come in with their Holy Trinity. It's Peart. It's Peart. It's either Peart, Bonham, Danny Carey, or Buddy Rich, or some combination of those into three. Buddy Rich is untouchable in my humble opinion. Yes, he's certainly up there as one of the true legends. Michael Parise, none of those drummers do much double bass. Danny Carey, double bass. I'm not sure on the others. Buddy Rich probably did do some double bass type stuff. I'm not sure. Actually, I'd have to have a look into that. Okay, what else we got here? Oh, Bernie Taupin. That's who I'm thinking of. Who got brought up before? I'm losing my bearings a little bit. Bernie Taupin, Elton's genius mate. Yes. Were there any other specific things I wanted to cover today? Okay, the big one was the blocked video. Tomorrow's video is blocked. You can join up on the Patreon if you want to check out the blocked videos. There is 19 of them. So yeah, there's not a heap of blocked videos. There's quite a few live Led Zeppelin ones, which is a real shame. Lorna Shore got blocked. That was a really highly requested one, so that was a bit of a shame. And I'm still getting requests. Why haven't you done Lorna Shore? I think it was called To the Hellfire. Got blocked. I've already done it. What other topics? The Twerkgate. Hopefully I've covered Twerkgate enough. And yeah, it kind of just leaves us with a little bit of a chat here. I'm probably not going to make this the longest video. That's what she said. Just because I've got a pretty full-on day. I have to record a whole bunch of reactions. I've had a whole bunch of amazing PayPal requests. Some of the upcoming PayPal requests are for videos that have been requested a lot, just in general, in the comments. And I've been so busy, I've only been doing the PayPal requests. And it just so happens the next batch, the next little lot, are ones that have been highly requested. So you're going to get some of those that you've been wanting. Michael Priest. Thomas Lang may be better than other top drummers. Had to switch to match grip because he learns everything leading with both hands. Yeah, I have done a couple of videos on Thomas Lang. Pretty incredible. There's a video floating around, I think it was a Drumeo one, of him doing like a double stroke roll demo. I wouldn't call it a workshop. It was more just a demo. Slowly playing doubles around the drums. And it's hard to do clean doubles on your toms, right? Because there's not much rebound. It's not like a practice pad or a snare. Go and search it out. Just type Thomas Lang doubles. And just absolute alien. JP Masuro, more Black Sabbath. Yes, that's another thing that I probably should have addressed. And that's, I did say I was going to do Black Sabbath Week 2.0. And I was going to do the whole debut album. I left out a song. I kind of got things mixed around. I knew there was one track on the album that basically even the diehard fans weren't a big fan of. And basically what happened was I thought I had left that one out. and I was desperately running low on time to get all this done. And it seems like I left the wrong one out, maybe the wrong two out. So I will be doing them. I will be doing them. Don't worry. Don Porter, Alvin Jones as well as Art Blakey, and my mentor Ed Thigpen. Wow, there's some serious jazz heavyweights there. Ed Thigpen, from memory, brought out quite a famous brushes book, so that's a good one to check out. What else have we got here? Lost opportunity, toss up for me between Danny Carey and Joey Jordison. Right. John Marimba, Wickel, Harrison, Phillips, Gadd, Garibaldi, Donati, Blade, Stewart, Alvin. Again, big names. John Marimba, was it you that requested the Brian Blade video? I can't remember now. No, I don't think it was, but hopefully you saw that video. JP Masoro, I'm going to send you a request from Matt Halpern from Periphery. I have done a few Matt Halpern videos. Modern metal, very progressive. Yeah, he's sensational and he's such a lovely guy. He always comments when I do a video about him. He always leaves a nice comment. Yeah, just a great guy. Oh, Blade was you. Sorry about that, John Marimba. Blade was you. Yeah, I mean, that is just... that stuff, John Marimba, that level, Alvin Jones, you know, that kind of... when you get into that level of jazz freak drummer, it's so hard to do a live watch analysis and try and convey the genius of what's going on. You kind of just have to, you know, let it all wash over you. That's what she said. And just enjoy it, you know, and just be amazed at the fluency of those guys' vocab in a jazz setting is crazy. They think so quickly. They think and they hear things so quickly, pick up on them, and then importantly have the vocab and the independence and the ability to just play what they feel. It's just mind-blowing. It can be quite draining, you know. I find myself not listening to a lot of jazz since leaving jazz school because it's... I mean, for some people, jazz is just something you put on in the background and, you know, you eat a steak and you have a lovely... and you've got this ding, 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 ding in the background. And for me, it's not really like that. I want to listen to what's going on. I want to listen to the dialogue and the chops and the ideas and, you know, what they're doing to the time and this total organic conversation, this live conversation that's happening. Lost opportunity. Jazz flows. You literally cannot write drum parts for it. Yeah, it's tricky. You know, I've had a run just recently. I'm probably going to make a video about this. I've had a real run recently of students, young students, asking to learn jazz. I think most of my students, or definitely the parents, know about my background with, you know, jazz school and stuff, and I think they sort of think, oh, jazz is hard, you know, learn jazz, then you'll be good because jazz is difficult. And it's like, well, you know, if I was going to be a real dick about it, if I was going to be really whiplash about it, my first question would be, you want to learn jazz? Great. What jazz are you listening to? And if I see, well, I'm not listening to jazz, that's fine. I'm not challenging you on that. It's just a way to see where this is coming from and why you want to learn jazz. You're going to have a hell of a time trying to learn jazz without listening to jazz and knowing the lineage, where it's come from, the, you know, big band, when jazz was in the 30s or whatever, when jazz was the popular music. The only time jazz was the popular music. And then through the 40s with bebop and then hard bop, soul bop, and then things, you know, very, very quickly get pretty complicated. And to be a part of that dialogue, to be able to speak in that setting, you need to be pretty virtuosic on your instrument. And there's a big disconnect and there's a big misunderstanding of that big chasm between saying, hey, I'll learn some jazz, to actually being able to speak and have it and make sense in a jazz setting without sounding really, really rickety. Ting, ting, ta ting, ting, ta ting, ting, ta ting. That's not jazz. That's not jazz. And then, it just goes on and on and on, well, what is the basic jazz groove? Well, there is none. I can teach you ding, shank, da ding, shank, hi-hat on a 2 and 4. Oh, cool. So where do the bass drums go? Well, they just go wherever you want to put them. It depends what other people are playing. It depends what kind of intensity you would like to portray in the song. Sometimes there's no bass drums, Man, you got me fired up about jazz there. This is some good coffee too. The other thing here, which is a little bit different to the States, jazz is the American art form. I think it's a little bit more, hesitate to say in the blood, but it's a little bit more it's a little bit more around, I would assume, in the States. Here it's a little bit more of a novelty, perhaps. I don't think there's a hell of a lot of families who grow up with a lot of jazz in the house. So just to come in cold, especially if you've been learning certain things like rock, pop, R&B, funk, hip hop, if you've been learning those styles of drumming and then going to jazz, it's gonna just feel like all the rules all of a sudden are gone. You've broken all the rules. Everything you've learnt doesn't really apply anymore. Instead of really laying into the bass drum and big 2 and 4 snare hits and sounding super solid and confident, jazz is a different world to that. George Marciano. Hello everyone, and Andrew is still waiting for you to react to the Warnings song Unmendable live at TEDx. I've got a Warning pick coming up in the next selection of songs. I don't think I'll tell you what it is, but I'm just going to have a look for myself. By the way, I'm going to be recording these as soon as we finish this. So you guys need to stop distracting me so I can go and record this next batch of videos. It's always really exciting to get this next batch of videos sorted and to record it. What was the warning? No, I don't think it was from TEDx. I've heard a lot about this TEDx performance though. Don Porter, walk the dog, love that jazzy ride. There's so many classics. I always do get my beginner jazz students started on Freddie Freeloader, Miles Davis. Kind of Blue album. Check it out. That is an album you can put on, have a dinner party or something, and you just put Kind of Blue on. You don't have to intellectualize it, just put it on, and it's just class. It is class from start to finish. So if you are someone who's like, jazz, I don't get jazz. Jazz is just when everybody solos at the same time. If you're one of those people, start with Kind of Blue. Because it can get pretty out there pretty quick. By the time you're into Pat Metheny and he's got his crazy cardigans on and his afro and it's getting pretty out there pretty quick. Trapowski, Mr. Ted Trapowski. I have fronted as a singer, bass, and guitar, but when playing jazz bass, either big band, trad, or fusion in rehearsal, I needed to see the drummer, namely the kick. Gotta stay ahead of the kick. Ooh. That is interesting. That is interesting. One of my first improv classes at jazz school, our teacher, who was an absolute legend of the local scene, Neville Grenfell, fantastic trumpet player. He was great for myth busting and he'd just lay it down. I believe he went to Berkeley. But now he described it as the bassist. Let me know if you agree with this, Ted. The bassist is the time. In jazz, at least. Bass is the time. Drums is the color and the style. In saying that, everybody is responsible for the time. I cannot handle, oh, the drummer. Yeah, the drummer just, keeps the time. Yeah, well, to be honest, I really hope everybody's aware of the time. Otherwise, we're in trouble. If it's just me trying to play in time and you guys are just widdly woo on your little stringed instruments, then it's not going to sound in the pocket. It's not going to sound tight. So yeah, bass is the time. And, your bass needs to be relentless, especially if it's just walking. Relentless intonation, hitting your notes, not playing flat, sharp, hitting the notes, intonation, in time, relentless, note value, all those basics, Lost opportunity, the shade. The shade thrown at string instruments. Speaking of widdly woo on guitar, I mean, there is nothing better, and working drummers will give me a hell yeah on this. There is nothing better than when you get a guitarist who plays great pocket and great time. People don't talk about guitarists playing in the pocket. Good guitarists, great guitarists play in the pocket. David Hungate, the session legend, original Toto bassist. There's some fantastic interviews with him floating around. And he was asked the question, it was a good question, what is the difference between a good player or a really good player, speaking about bass, but in general, what is the difference between a good or a very good player and a pro? A great player. And he said one word: time. Now, people would think, oh, it's theory. You got to know a lot about chord shapes and modes and scales, and have all this stuff down, or you got to have chops. You got to have your slap game on. No. Time. And that works on each instrument. And he was just so emphatic in his answer, and it was such a short and quick answer. Time. That is the difference. Again, this teacher that I was just referring to, Neville Grenfell, my year one improv teacher, he had a saying which was infamous around the music school: time and tone. Time and tone. People feel it. People notice it. Good players do anyway, because you are nailing your job. It's like a good sports team. If you're in a really, really high level sports team, it can be easier to play on that team because everybody else is doing their job. You're not worried about what other people are doing, and therefore distracted and trying to correct things to, pick up all their stray balls. That's what she said. You've got complete confidence that person's doing what they need to do. That person's doing, the singer singing in tune. Guitarist is playing beautiful pocket rhythm and then soloing when they need to. Bass is just, a wall, just a rock. Keys have got all their sounds and they're playing beautiful pocket. It's really easy. Whenever I do those kind of gigs, I feel like I'm not even playing. It's like I'm really not doing much here. And it just sounds like $1 million, and the crowd's just like, oh my god, and you're not doing anything other than time and tone. So it's, in that sense, it's easy. It's a simple formula. But I guess not an easy one. If it was easy, everybody would be playing in perfect time with great tone. But obviously, it's not easy. Deb, that is exactly the point. If I'm just ahead and watching what the drummer is doing, the drummer is locking in with me and is free to do the color. The bass keeps time, but is not really leading. Yeah, well said. Well said. I can't really add much more to that. Church of the Holy Mo. I tried drums in 5th grade. Teacher told me to try something else. Lol. There's something else that popped up here. John Marimba. Horns always dragging. Can I get an amen? Amen. Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, it's. I know I'm not allowed to talk like this, because when I do talk like this, I get in trouble, and people say, "Oh well." But horn sections, vocalists. Looking at you. Horn sections and vocals. What I always notice, I don't have the best ear for music. I'm not going to ever claim to have the best ears. Perfect pitch, of course not. None of that. But man, out of tune horn sections, oh my god. And then you hear it back on a recording and you just think, that is when you realize, and Ted, I'm sure you'll agree with this, this is when it dawns on you what other people have said previously. Things like time and tone, play and tune. And you think, oh, well, yeah, I can play and tune, but look at all this other stuff. Are you sure you're in tune? Because that's what sounds good. I mean, you hear these horn sections. I've been going over a few Earth, Wind and Fire songs and a few songs from Off the Wall, the Michael Jackson album. Amazing stuff. Tight horn sections. And when you get your horn sections, intonation, tight rhythms, note values, and everybody hitting them at the same time, it is so powerful and so magical. But it does make it stand out when they're draggy and just out of tune. It's horrendous. It's horrendous. I know that's not an easy thing, but it's a noticeable thing. Mike Russin. So is it possible that the horn section has tone deaf members? Probably not really. Well, wouldn't think so. I can see a drummer being tone deaf, but brass sections. Man, time and tone is such a powerful. It's almost like you need to write that. You need to have it written somewhere. You get up in bed and time and tone. Yes. And then you sort of on your day, and you know what your priorities are, and you know what you're supposed to be doing. I mean, the drummers that we look at on this channel, they've gone through all that and they've come out the other side, and now they're blowing us away with insane chops built on top of time and tone. Alestipario Siberiano, madness. it only sounds good because it's in the pocket. It's only good because it's built on time. You can't do what he does. You can't play one of his chops and it be slightly off because then it loses all the power and now it just sounds like you've overplayed or like, oh, dude, like, come on, just play the groove because you haven't executed. So yeah, I don't know why I'm getting so angry. It's an interesting way for the chat to go. My coffee's getting cold. Mouth. That's the one thing drummers lack. That's what she said. What else we got here? This is interesting. Michael Paris. I heard people wear hearing protection in symphony because it's so loud. If you read notes, you don't need to have perfect pitch. Huh. Yeah, that's interesting. I can't imagine, playing, with your mouth and hearing. I can't imagine like a trumpet player or a sax player being able to use like muso plugs or, hearing protection because I would have thought it would affect their pitch, but I could be wrong. I haven't really thought about that. Mike Gruson, there is a difference between reading notes and hearing them. Yeah, there were some interesting customers, some interesting cats at jazz school. We get a few people who had perfect pitch or relative pitch. They could hear, there was one guy who could, basically hear a sound and just play it. Bonk. Or just hear a sound and go, there's a C sharp. Or just, the elevator bing would go off and that's an F. And you'd go, what? And then he'd go and play it, bing, and it was the sound. So yeah, there was a bit of that. It's an interesting environment. I didn't mean for this to sound all high and mighty, like I've got these ridiculously high standards and other people, need to be playing at that level to be making good listenable music. Not really, especially in the rock world. I kind of like my rock a bit dirty, a little bit rough around the edges. But yeah, it is very nice and refreshing to be playing music with people who know their role. I think that is it in a nutshell, like knowing your role. And sometimes your role is to play a lot of notes. If you're playing like at a prog gig, Phil Rudd is not really the approach. If you've got a fusion gig at the Baked Potato, you're not going to do your Phil Rudd at that gig, probably. And then vice versa, if you're playing to a stadium, you're not going to play as if you were doing a fusion gig at the Baked Potato. So there's just time and place, knowing your role, being appropriate, knowing your lane too. So if you haven't got those kind of chops, then it's fine. You just stay in your lane and you might chip away and build up on those chops, and that's fine. But yeah, there's something to be said about simply playing in time. I feel like in particular rhythm sections, not understanding the importance of time is the biggest misconception and misunderstanding, and the biggest reason for things not going well that there is. I feel like guitarists often think their job is all about the widdly and then that 15-second solo that they get needs to be so mind-blowing, and then so they're spending 95% of their time on that little section and have ignored the other 4 minutes of the song, and the other 4 minutes sounds like garbage. I feel like that happens a bit, but yeah, I don't know why I'm off on this rant. getting some really good comments coming in here too. Lost opportunity. I made all state in drums. I don't really know what that means. You know, we don't have state. We don't even have states here in New Zealand. So you might have to elaborate on that. What does that mean? Is that a marching thing? Let me know. Sounds good. Patrick M. But time is relative. This is when I need my Back to the Future Photoshop meme. Patrick M. Guitarists usually can't count to 4. Yeah, there's a running joke that guitarists can't read, which is kind of true sometimes. Church of the Holy Mo. I actually was accepted into Berkeley, but I couldn't afford it. Had to stay at local state university. I guess they do let anyone in. How much is Berkeley, like ballpark? Because I actually cannot remember how much the jazz course at Auckland Uni was. I want to say it was subsidized a bit. I want to say it was about $5,000 a year, $5K a year, something like that, for 3 years. But I genuinely do not remember. Should look into that. I'd be curious actually to know how much it is these days. I understand Berkeley's pretty expensive though, right? Starve. Hating on guitarists. Oh no, here we go. Gotta make sure I get good before any videos. No. You need to post videos to get good. Let's just put that out there. Alan Joyce. Hello Andrew, do you like the sound of timpani? Love timpani. And have you ever played them? Not really, other than just mucking around at music school on them with my non-timpani mallets, just making an absolute dork of myself. The whole idea of changing notes with the pedals and, oh God, no. I really am not a tuned percussion expert at all. I've done a very little bit of it for various musical productions. You know, I might have to play a small piece on the Glock or something. Okay, with a little bit of hand percussion, but no, I love timpani. It's such a powerful, all of that stuff is so powerful. Like a timpani roll, you know, to a crescendo and stuff. Yeah. Classical would be one genre that I completely, you know, missed, did not really look into at all. And I'm actually liking it more and more. I still know very little about classical. But I think just purely for the emotion and the drama and the storytelling that's possible in classical music and capturing feelings. You know, sometimes music or art can capture feelings or ideas that you'd struggle to put into words. And I feel like there's some classical pieces that are a little bit like that, where it's just like, oh my God, this is heartbreaking, or this is romantic, and I don't know why. You know, you couldn't explain it. You know, it's just, oh, this is crushing. And I mean, that's magical. That is magical. And let's not forget like soundtrack type stuff where, you know, the soundtrack of a film or a TV show is so crucial in conveying how they want you to feel about a certain thing. Take the soundtrack out of a film, it's bizarre. It's just empty. The lines have no weight. The acting, the close-ups, they have no weight until you add that music bed, which is often pretty classical, you know. I am going to have to sign off. I realize I did not read a lot of the comments here. Hopefully everybody got the rundown on the twerking and the blocked videos, and yeah, it's a bit of a bummer to do all that editing and all that work and it's blocked. Horrible. But guys, I will have to sign off and get rolling on the day. So thank you so much for joining in, for being such good sports, letting me blow off some steam. about guitarists. Oh my god, horn sections, dragging horn sections. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for the support, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care. Bye.